Welcome to EdScoop TV. I'm Wyatt Kash, and we're here today with Zach Desjarlais. Zach is the manager of instructional technology for the Vancouver Public Schools in Vancouver, Washington. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And Zach also is one of this year's 5 CoSN Next Generation Leaders Award winners. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
Rising stars in the community, so glad to have you with us. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about your district. How big is it? How many folks are on your IT team that you that support students and so forth?
Sure. So we have, we are in Vancouver, Washington, often confused with Vancouver, Canada, BC. But we're in Washington, just across the river from Portland, Oregon. We have about 24,000 kids. We have just over 3,300 employees spread out over about 37 schools. On the IT side itself, at the central office, we're probably just shy of 20, including help desk and some specialist positions. On the instructional side in IT, I have 17 that I work with. And then we have our building techs also on the buildings that are kind of a blend where they report to IT, but also have responsibilities in the buildings.
Mm-hmm. Terrific. Well, tell us a little bit about some of the leading technology initiatives that are taking place at your school, and particularly as you're kind of looking to the coming school year and beyond.
Sure. So over the last 4 years, we've been kind of rolling out our one-to-one plan. We call it We Learn. And we started with middle school, some small pilots, geared up all of middle school 3 years ago, rolled into high school last year, and now we're rolling down into our elementary schools. 5th grade this year and down into 3rd and 4th next year. So along with that, there's all sorts of infrastructure build-outs that we're doing, Wi-Fi advancements. I would say probably the thing that we'll be looking at this summer and next year would be how to increase the Wi-Fi capacity in our elementary school buildings, since that's where we're heading next. It's already been done in our middle and high. And so it's kind of a blend of sustaining the work that we've done, and it's great stuff, but also continue on down the path.
Mm-hmm. And what's an example of a project that you've been working on over the last year, you and your team, that you're particularly proud of that other schools might learn from?
Sure. Yeah, we have a couple great ones, I think. There's 2 that come to mind when I get asked that question, just that pop right in. One is our team for the first year in 5th grade this year, because we're one-to-one, was able to do a district-wide hour of code with our students. So
cool.
Just over 1,900 kids participated in that, and just over 72 teachers, I think 73 teachers, participated in that. And really out of that, it was a one-time kind of event, or 1-week event, but out of that came this kind of version 2.0, so to speak, and we're calling it Hour of Creation. So now coding's great, and really it's about that application. So how are kids making, and how are they owning that coding? What are they doing with the code? And so we've went into those same classrooms and kind of do this rotation system where kids get to do green screen, they get to code robots, they get to do green screening. So just real interactive, but still using some of those coding skills that they got from the hour of code. The other thing that I'm real excited about this year is a kind of initiative that I started with some help. It wasn't just my idea, called Future Ready Administrators. And what we found is we've done hundreds, maybe thousands of hours with professional development with our teachers connected to the We Learn one-to-one initiative. And we didn't specifically design anything for administrators. We invite them to the trainings, and some come and they're in and out, but really the lens is teacher there. So what can we do, and what should we have done, and now what can we do with our administrators? And so really we've launched this first cohort, 3 elementary principals, 2 middle, and 2 high, with the idea. We have a number of topics that we have found working with some vendors, some other districts, and similar initiatives they had. But really they get to guide that. So, but really by questions: what do they want to learn? What are they seeing in their buildings? Where are there gaps that we need to help fill in? And so it's about inquiry experience. It's been amazing. One of the quotes that came out of this that prompted me to get interested in this idea was, there's a middle school principal, and he says to me, "This is the first time in my career," referring to the one-to-one and all this digital content and these shifts in education he's seen. So this is the first time in my career that I am having to lead and mentor and coach teachers I'm asking them to do something I didn't get to experience in the classroom. So there's this gap. And very quickly we see that we cannot get to a sustainable model with technology, digital content, whatever the items are, without having that building leadership on board. Not even on board, they need to really lead it. That's when it's going to be sustainable.
Well, let's talk a little about privacy and security.
Sure.
I know privacy is probably a little more in your area, but tell me some of the things that your district's working on to try to strengthen its approach to student data privacy.
Sure. One-to-one rolled out, and now we have digital content. We have different types of apps and tools, and there's a lot of complexity in that process. So I would say that the old way of doing that in our system was that a department would purchase a program, an app, a tool, and then ITS oftentimes wouldn't even know about it. And the first day of school rolls around, and they get a call from at the help desk saying, why can't my kids access ABC, whatever it might be? And that was the first time we've ever heard about it. So we put in a process. We've tried it for a year now, just over a year. And it's really kind of a three-prong approach. The first is a digital advisory team comes, and it's cross-department. People from different departments sit on that. So when requests come in for digital tools, content, services, they go to that vetting body first. Then from there, that product gets moved on to the digital integration team, DIT as we call it. And they get to work with a vendor. Right, and so at this time, at the same time, this is going through legal then, and they're looking at the terms and conditions and privacy policy and things like that. But the integration team really, the hope would be out of that comes kind of a green, yellow, or red light. Green means super easy to integrate into our system. Yellow means we can do it, but maybe there's a small FTE connected to that or a setup piece that's going to take. And red means there's some significant heavy lifts that our system is going to have to take on in order to integrate this product into our system. And that has really opened the eyes at a system level of the complexity it is to bring digital content and services into our existing system. And then the last little piece of that would be the DET team, the digital evaluation team. And what that was really, after we put these things in our system, what's our return on investment? What's our student growth? So that team goes out and does all kinds of different evaluations depending on the product, and then gives us a report back of, how is it working? Is it working? That kind of thing.
Sounds like a good system.
Yeah.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
Tell me, as one of this year's CoSN Next Generation Leaders, tell me a little bit about how you got into the EdTech field, and maybe what advice you have for others who are thinking about a move like you've made.
Yeah. Well, how did I get into the EdTech field is, I don't know. I'm here. It's great. It's fun.
Drafted.
That's right. I thought I was going to be a building administrator and kind of went down that track. At the same time, our system has been working on our We Learn initiative, our one-to-one initiative now for a few years. And there was a very strong team of instructional technology facilitators. And I got a call from my current boss. I was working with Current Tech Ed at the time. So I had a little bit of background using technology in the classroom, so maybe that's how I got the connection there. But she really encouraged me to apply for one of the positions coming up for this team. And I thought about it, but again, I thought I was going to be a building administrator, and really thought about it long and hard, and decided to go ahead and throw my name in the hat, and they hired me. And then a year later, I was leading that team, and it's fun. It's great work. I would say why did I choose that route versus going straight for my building admin would be I did a visit at a middle school, and they were demoing or displaying what was happening with the pilot one-to-one there. And I was blown away and amazed on the amount of ownership and just excitement, and I would say engagement, excitement the students showed by using these tools in the classroom. They'd only had them for a few months, and I was just blown away. And that's really kind of the pivoting piece that I would say hooked me into this area. And I would say if there's advice for others maybe going into this area, I would say don't think you're going to know what you want to do even if it isn't education. Like from my own experience was I was going to be a building administrator. And I would love doing that. But there are opportunities that come your way, and if you are so closed and focused on what you think you want to do, you may miss those opportunities. This year particular, I've had a lot of opportunities to travel and work with different vendors and partners and districts, and my eyes have been open to some of the most amazing things that are going on our schools all across our nation. And so don't close those doors by not be willing or wanting to just start a conversation with somebody if they're wondering what if you might want to join them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, Zach, really, I want to thank you for stopping by, sharing some of what you're working on at your schools in Vancouver, Washington, and just congratulations again on being named one of this year's CoSN's Next Generation Leaders.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. I'm Wyatt Kash with EdScoop TV. Thanks for being with us.